Oh my gosh, we're not going to make it to the hospital. It's going to happen here in our bathroom. Great. Hey, everybody. This is Katie and my handsome husband, Steve. And we talked a little bit about in the hospital about giving you guys kind of the rundown on our very unexpected home bathroom birth, kind of with Steve's perspective here. So I just wanted to give him the opportunity to share how it felt for him to deliver his second-born daughter. So I'll start it off with my water breaking at about 10:40, and me going into the room and letting him know.
Yeah, pretty much it was very, very rapid turn of events. Basically 12:10, she comes in and wakes me up, and I had been working all day. I was pretty tired. I only actually ended up getting about an hour's worth of sleep, and she wakes me up. She says, "Hey, it's time. I think we need to go." And I didn't even acknowledge pretty much what she was doing in the bathroom. I just went and I started gathering stuff around the house that we needed for the trip to the hospital. So, and then she starts calling me, she's like, "Hey, I need you. So, at that point, I ended up coming back into the bathroom where she was at. She was having contractions, that were pretty close together. And I didn't get a chance to finish putting everything together that we had, around the house to take to the hospital. She said, "I need you to call my mom and my dad." So I made that phone call. As soon as I got done with that phone call, she told me to call the doula.
That was about 12:15.
Yeah, about 12:15. So she told me to call her mom and dad, and then I called the doula. And then shortly after that, they ended up showing up after I had made another phone call at 12:27 to the hospital. My wife was, she's like, "We need to call the hospital and let them know that we're coming." So she tells me to call the hospital, 12:27 a.m. I get off the phone with them, and not like 2 minutes later, she's like, "I need you to call 911. We're having the baby here."
Hold on just a second. Here's what happened. After he got off the phone with the hospital, I was having my contractions. I was having a break, and so he ran out of the bathroom to go and grab a few more things, and I did a really quick self-check, and I was able to feel the head, and that was when I was like, oh my gosh, we're not going to make it to the hospital. It's going to happen here in our bathroom. Great. So that was when I called him back in, and I was like, you need to call 911.
Yeah, so...
And what time was that at?
That was, well, I made the phone call at 12:32, but there was a pause in my in my dialing speed. I literally looked at my wife when she said that, and I just kind of went on a little mini vacation in my head, and I think she probably thought I just like fainted or something, because I just stared at her blankly.
His eyes bugged a little bit.
And what was going through my mind is I was like, okay, I'm not listening to a word this woman's saying. I'm getting her to the hospital, and it's going to be in our car. I'm not calling 911. So that didn't end up working out. I ended up getting on the phone with dispatch, and the lady ended up walking me through some stuff. And it's kind of funny because as the phone call progresses, I called them at 12:32. So I'm sitting there talking to this lady on the phone, and she's like, "Well, where's your wife now?" And I was like, "Well, she's on the toilet." And she's like, "You need to get her off the toilet right now." So I kind of look at my wife, and I'm like, she says you need to get off the toilet, and I think she just lets out this, and
I heard him, but I wasn't having it.
So I was like, "Yeah, I'm trying." And the lady just kind of, she's like, "Well, you need to get her off the toilet." And I was like, "Okay." So, and then she gave me a list of some stuff that I needed to get, and this is where I kind of got confused. About that time, as I'm on the phone with EMS, my wife's mom and dad show up, and our doula show up all at the same time. And so I'm kind of running around trying to talk to them, see them and let them, kind of get in on the situation, which, there wasn't hardly any time for anybody to do anything. First thing I did is I'm sitting there talking to the EMS lady, and she's like, "Okay, here's what you need." And I'm sitting here thinking like, okay, this is like a game plan. I got this. So she's like, you need a shoestring and a safety pin. And I'm like, great, got it. So I go to Katie's dad and I said, I need a shoestring and a safety pin. And the whole time I say this, I'm like, I don't even know why I'm asking for this. And finally, as I see him come back with the shoestring and the safety pin, I realize what the stuff is for. Well, I still don't understand what the safety pin's for. But
we don't know what that's for still.
so he hands me the shoestring, and I looked at him and I took it, and right at that same exact time, I knew what it was for. I look at him, and the ambulance is already on its way, so I knew that somebody was coming. I looked at the shoestring in my hand, and it's all dirty, you know, it's like from just a shoe, like he just grabbed one. We didn't have any, you know, brand new ones. So I look at it and I throw it down on the ground, and I just continue going back to what I was doing. Like, I'm not using this stuff. So at that point, the lady, you know, she's like, listen, you need to get your wife down on the ground, you know, on her back. And she was kind of in an awkward position, and I was basically holding pressure against the baby's head while she was changing positions, you know, so nothing kind of random happened. Well, so finally,
didn't slip out.
Yeah, finally she gets down on her back, and well, then it's go time. You know, I basically have to doctor it up. So
was the head out when I got on my back?
The head was about like this.
Okay.
So literally, I'm sitting there and I'm trying to do everything I know how to do, you know, because I'm trying to remember everything that I went through. And the lady's like talking to me. I got the phone like this. So at that point, I think I just dropped the phone. I just kind of like threw it off to the side, and I just went, you know, to go through everything. She gets down on her back, and it's probably like 12:41, 40, yeah, probably 41. They pronounce baby born at 12:44, so that gives you like the whole timeline of events. But literally, the coolest thing about all of this is they talk about the corkscrew that the baby does. Our daughter we have a daughter. She wasn't in the birth canal very long, so her head didn't like, you know, misshape like they normally do. Basically, she had like this perfect round head. So her head, when it came out, my wife is on her back. Well, the baby's face was face down, and I literally watched my baby's whole entire body do the 360 spin that they do. Her face came out to the side, shoulders like this, and that was kind of one push to the shoulders. She did another push, the shoulders came out, and then she kind of went to waist. She did, I think, 2 more pushes, and baby was out, and literally
face up, right?
And she went shoulders and did the full corkscrew. So it was face down, head, shoulders, and corkscrewed all the way out. And, you know, and
she did exactly what she was supposed to do.
You know, yeah, a lot of times I remember our first daughter, they had to like rough her up to kind of get her to scream. She came out, and we didn't do anything. Yeah, she started screaming on her own. Well, not screaming, but, you know, crying.
She made noise, and yeah.
And we kind of finished it up, you know, and I handed her the baby, and EMS was just kind of standing back like, hey, good job.
They were waiting in the hallway, and then after the baby was, because our bathroom's not very large, we'll try to include a screenshot of our bathroom.
Our house is 1,040 square feet, and our bathroom, we have one bathroom, and literally the whole time all this was going on, our 4-year-old daughter was sound asleep in the room next
right
door.
Right across the hall, yeah.
With 6 EMS people, our mother and father, and the doula, and everybody just kind of making noise, and she's sound asleep. But
Thank
it was
God for that. That would have been bad if she
it was an
up.
amazing experience.
Yeah.
And I've talked to many people, you know, big tough guys I see at the gym, and they're like, man, I would have fainted. And I tell them right to their face, you know, I said, if I would have done that, I wouldn't have been the strong figure for my wife, and she wouldn't have had.
And I needed it, because I was like, this is not going down in my bathroom. But it did. It did. It went down in the bathroom.
It was really good. And I just wanted to end this on kind of a funny side. Obviously, there has been some funny banter, but the other day I was in our bedroom, and our 4-year-old comes in. I just got out of the shower, and I hadn't put cologne on in a couple weeks because we've just been kind of hanging around the house. And I'm sitting there, and she comes up and she gives me a big old hug, and she's like, "Daddy, you smell really good." And I was like, "Oh yeah? Well, what do I smell like?" And she's like, "You smell like turbo boosters." So I thought that was really awesome. I was like, "Yes, I smell like turbo." But yeah. So, anyways, that was kind of
That's our
my story.
Yeah.
So.
Well, thanks for explaining everything. Thanks for giving your side of the story. And thanks for watching, guys. Have a good day.